everyone, today I've got my Brahms The Boy 2 movie review. So, okay, it's completely obvious that I have a special guest with me, and I've brought back Ben, which is the doll that was featured in my review of The Boy. And of course I had to bring him back this time around because I have some things to say about this movie. The Boy is back again for a second time. Now I know this won't end well. So as far as the story goes, William Brent Bell directs this sequel to a movie that I actually found to be pretty good. Now I probably consider it at this point one of my guilty pleasures, especially for a horror movie that came out in January. But now this sequel comes out in February, and it doesn't exactly make me all excited to talk about it, because when I ended up seeing it, I mean, first of all, for those who haven't even seen the first movie, I'm probably going to end up spoiling something that happens in the first movie that, you know, you can't honestly talk about this movie without bringing up the first one and things that happen in there. So if you haven't seen the first one, don't watch this movie, and then watch that and then come back to my review. Basically, in the first movie, a woman has to take care of this doll named Brahms, and for this couple who ends up killing themselves. And the doll was actually not this Chucky-like doll. It was made to act like it was a doll, but it was really by a human named Brahms. And in this movie, in The Boy 2, the house that the doll was in the first movie gets lived in once again by this family who finds the doll. Their son finds the doll and gets attached to it. I'm not attached to this doll whatsoever, but I think something's wrong with it. But anyway, that's where things go downhill from there. I mean, I couldn't believe how even by the first time I heard about this movie, I was thinking, there's no way this movie deserves any kind of sequel whatsoever. So as far as the casting goes, I mean, I felt like the acting was probably the best part of this movie. You've got Katie Holmes, who plays the mom of this one boy, Jude, played by Christopher Convery, and I thought that, you know, the acting alone was probably the only redeemable factor about this movie, and probably the only reason you'd want to see this movie above anything else, but I think that'd be kind of lame. And also, there was also another guy from the movie The Witch, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and I just think that they did a pretty good job at trying to act like they were scared, and also at times being kind of creepy as well, especially the boy in this movie. And I'm not just talking about the boy doll. The things that I liked about this movie was, with the exception of the aforementioned acting abilities, screw it, nothing else comes to mind. This is a bad love review contender because I knew from the moment I saw that first trailer, I said this was going to be a waste of my time with an unnecessary sequel that is probably worthy of just being redboxed or something. I mean, the movie was so lame, I really had a hard time finding anything to like about it, because I wanted to give it a chance. I'm a huge horror movie fan, and you know, as soon as I saw that first trailer, I was like, oh man, I know the whole movie better not be like this. And quite frankly, I was left to be disappointed. So unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that there wasn't any tension whatsoever when the scary parts were coming on, and this movie wasn't scary in general, and I was expecting a whole lot more to really grab my attention. And when it tries to, I mean, it just comes off in such a lame way. I mean, what was the point of the characters acting a certain way? I mean, I was getting more annoyed by not only the movie being boring as hell, but the use of the supernatural elements. I mean, I already had a problem with the turning doing that, but then as soon as this movie does that, I said, okay, now they're just trying to up the ante, go all over the top, be ridiculous, and it was unoriginal. I mean, comparing it to the first movie, it strayed away so much from what the first movie accomplished that I was like, I shook my head so hard, I thought it was gonna fall off. The characters' actions didn't seem to matter with, despite what was happening on screen. I mean, they were all acting like a bunch of idiots, and because by the end of it, everything you literally, if you see this movie, everything you literally just watched was completely butchered in the storytelling department, and I was just so, like, irritated with it. But I mean, I got what I deserved because I knew exactly, like, what was going to happen, which kind of made this movie to be slightly predictable. But then again, aren't most horror movies predictable, especially with those jump scares? I'm probably just not happy about this movie at all. So overall, I would say that this movie doesn't really deserve to be seen. Honestly, the first movie is probably where it should have just ended, and didn't really need to see any more explaining about what this boy doll Brahms was capable of or whatever. But oh my god, I would not recommend seeing this movie at all. I couldn't stop thinking about it the moment the movie ended. So I would give this a half heart on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Brahms the Boy 2. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates. Come back every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And I will see you guys later.